This is my partner Donna's bike. I did the measuring on the Ducati Multistrada 1200 and we're gonna compare ergonomics. Yesterday I rode this for almost 5 hours. 2.5 one way, 2.5 back. And I can tell you this morning, I am in a lot of pain, specifically up here in my neck and shoulders, top of my rotator cuff, and my forearms and wrists. Now the question is, why? So let's take it piece by piece so you can understand and build a picture about why the triangle in this cockpit is so important. The Multistrada seat is basically 14 inches. This seat is 11.5 inches. I could not get back far enough, and there's a huge wall behind me. That made it incredibly difficult. So there's the first piece of the puzzle. Seat length for freedom of movement. None here for me. Next piece of the puzzle, handlebar width on the Multistrada is 32 inches, and that is roughly 81.5 centimeters. Measuring on the Ninja 650, it is 25.5 inches. So what that did to me, because of the width of my shoulders, was pull my hands in. And what that also made me do is put my hand on the very last third of the grip to get my arms as wide as I could because the bars were too narrow. That was a huge struggle, and that's where the most pain came, was hand, wrist and forearm here, top of the shoulder, and the neck. The last piece of the puzzle, which I have to sit on the bike for, is the tank to bar reach. On the Multistrada, it is 20 inches, and that is roughly 51 centimeters. So I'm going to do the same thing here, and the bar reach is roughly 17.5 inches, which is, give or take, 44.5 centimeters. So I am on this bike completely and utterly locked in tight. What did that do? Well, let's get rid of this tape measure. With the arm reach being so short, I am trying to push myself as far back as I can get because this is way too close. This is way too narrow. So I'm using my hands on the very outsides of the grip to give myself temporarily as much comfort as possible. But because I'm here, my wrist is bent, my elbows are up, which puts tension into the back of my neck and into my shoulders. Was the first 2 hours doable? Sure. 2 hours, 30 minutes, I knew I was in trouble. It was going to be painful. On the way home, got through the first hour, and then it just started really getting to be miserable. So, what is your triangle here? What do you need from belly button to handlebar? What do you need for width of handlebar? Because no matter what motorcycle you own, you will need that measurement. The other nice part is that you know with the seat length whether you have any wiggle room or you do not. Yes, we're going to buy a bike we want. When we do that, how much of the triangle can we get stock, and then what do we need to change to get it right? So if I was to keep this bike, and if I was to use it for commuting, because it got 54 to the gallon yesterday at 75 miles an hour, what would I do? So at this point, these handlebars are clamped. Let me put it in gear so it doesn't roll back. There it is. These handlebars are bolted in. But if I do this, What is wrong with me getting a handlebar that comes straight out? We have plenty of room here at either lock. So if I put my wrists here, now I'm comfortable. So now I need the grips there, which gives me that extra 3 inches forward. So is there anything wrong with taking this entire handlebar assembly away, finding an alternative mount that, for example, provides me with, say, a motocross or supercross handlebar that comes out relatively straight versus this bar being bent back a lot? It's an easy question to fix. It's a minimal investment that would make the bike a lot more comfortable for me, especially if I was going to buy something like this to commute on a daily basis, because there's no way, none, that I could suffer through that pain. But so many of us do, because we don't know how to fix this. So hopefully this video is giving you some information where you can actually start thinking about what you need and how to make it right with a minimal investment.